everybody, this is Jessica with Niote Financial. Today I am going to be doing a little bit of my financial plan to help everybody kind of understand a basic kind of equation or plan or context for what I do. So the first, the first thing to understand is what gets measured gets managed, right? So the idea, if we're watching this video and if we give a shit about our finances, is that we want to pay attention, right? The biggest thing is to have a plan. Probably the next biggest thing, and one of the things that I've seen from so many great people, is that whatever I think is going to be whatever I get, right? So if I think, oh, I'm not going to have any money, or I can't afford this or whatever, we won't ever, right? But if we want to be positive about it and think about kind of the plan that we have, whether it's, our relationships or finances or business or whatever, then what we think we will eventually kind of create. So, number one is whatever we measure is managed. I know about 10 years ago, somebody asked me, what would you pay yourself if you were your own manager? And at that point in my life, I was still an undergrad, barely, and I wasn't doing too good. And I was like, ew, I probably wouldn't even pay myself like a lot. Today, I'm trying the best that I can, and I'm doing a fairly decent job. Just a little bit of background. I became quote unquote permanently disabled when I was 18 in a car crash. Doctors told me that if I exercised and measured what I did, my life would become managed. And I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And I am not like, Satoshi or any like infamous, financial guru, but I'm doing okay. So what I wanted to show some people, some, lay people, is simple equations. And these are things like, kind of like my macros for my nutritional health and counting exercise, caloric intake, and things like that for physically, which is certainly something I can improve on there too. Simple equations for my money plan, for my financial plan, for my, future and now, to make sure that in times of like this, like Corona, that we're ready, right? That we've built ourselves a pyramid here, right? That we've got a foundation, that we've got some sort of goal in mind, and that we're going to make it to the top where we want to be. And now that looks like a Christmas tree, even though I was kind of going for the more Egyptian pyramid feel. But anyway, speaking of the pyramid, the first thing is going to be life insurance. So what kind of life insurance do I need? Well, I believe in all kinds, and we'll get to the diversify part here in a bit. But usually my life insurance is going to be my income times lifetime plus debt, right? So if my income is $50,000 and my lifetime is, let's see, I want to live till I'm 90. If I'm 30, that gives me 60 years. Ow. That's so wild to think I'm going to live double what I've already lived. Whoops. And then times my debt. Or add my debt, which is, let's do 35,000. So accumulatively, we're talking about, let's see here, 370. That doesn't sound right. but roughly about $370. So this is probably what I'm going to get in some sort of term life insurance policy. It's going to cost me probably a couple bucks a month. Now, the next step, once I have some sort of basic protection, that is all life insurance is in the term sense, is protection. That's why it's taxed as life insurance and not an investment, etc., etc. Now, number two, when I really want to start investing, what am I going to invest my money in? Everything I do is an investment. I remember having lunch with one of the agents in a company I used to work with, and I told him my car was a great investment. And he was like, that's not an investment. It loses cash value. And I was like, not if you buy them in the way I do. Every car I've ever bought, and I've ended up selling it for more than what I paid for it. Whether it was just because of putting money into it, not driving it so much, getting a great deal, selling it for more than I paid for it, yada, yada. So when I'm going to invest, specifically a percentage of a paycheck, I'm going to do 10 to 30% anytime I get an income. So as a business owner, it's a little bit harder because, of course, you're going to gauge into 10% that you're going to be spending on marketing, and we're really looking at the gross profit that you're going to bring back. If you're an employee, it's a little bit easier. Oh, I get $1,000. Okay, every time you do that, you need to take 100 and then do this. So say $1,000 example. So we're going to we'll do 300. Usually people haven't been investing. So they're going to want to probably do the closer to the 30%. Of that 30%, you're going to be, ideally, I'm going to do 10% before tax, 10% after taxed, and then I'm going to do 10% and never tax, and I'm going to get to that real quick. Now, so we're talking like 100 here, 100 here, 100 here, right? Now, before tax, what is that? Okay, well, we're talking like a 401k, employee IRA, something like that. And after tax, we're looking at an IRA. And then never taxed, we're looking at like a whole life option. Whole life is different than term life because term is only good for the term, whether it's 10, 20, 30 years. Whole life is good for the whole life. And another major difference is that the whole life gets cash value. So, from that $100, you don't want to stick with that I retire in 2030 401k plan. Someone is getting paid to manage your 401k. You need to be good friends with them. You need to find out what fees you're paying, what fees you don't need to be paying. You need to find out what is the best investment source with the lowest fees that they recommend, because every 401k has an agent for you. Same with an IRA.